Is he in the floor? Oh, shoot. You said you see blood? 110 radio. Come on. Go run back. Get EMS out here. Oh boy. There's a lot of blood.
It all started with a simple welfare check. But what followed was a complex case, a mysterious murder, and a shocking story. When police arrived at the house, they discovered the body of 41-year-old Dr. Todd Morgan, a respected professor of business and finance at Cleveland University. Just hours before, the Hudson police received a phone call. On the line was Mary, Todd Morgan's ex-girlfriend. That Wednesday, Todd was supposed to pick up their 5-year-old daughter from school, like he always did. But as time passed and there was no sign of him, Mary got a call from the school and immediately contacted the police.
Hey, I was wondering if I'd be able to request a wellness check on someone.
Okay, what's going on?
So my daughter was supposed to be picked up by her father today, and I got a call from the school that she was still at the school, so I ended up picking her up. They tried to contact him. I tried to call him a couple times and haven't received anything back.
And what's his name?
Todd Morgan.
Has he ever done anything like this?
No, I don't think he would forget his daughter from school, but we are going through some custody issues right now, which is why I find it to be a little bit more unusual.
When you call him, does it go straight to voicemail or does it ring?
It rings.
Before 7 p.m., police went to Todd's house to check things out. They wanted to make sure everything was okay, but what they found was anything but normal.
Oh boy. There's a lot of blood. Hardy looks to be might have fell. Crap. Oh, open.
Near the back door, Dr. Todd Morgan's lifeless body was lying on the ground with severe trauma to his temple. Based on the wound's location, police initially suspected suicide, but there was one major problem. Despite several shell casings scattered on the floor, there was no gun in sight.
I don't see a weapon. That's why I'm thinking something else.
Inside the master bedroom, things were a complete mess. The bed was unmade. Empty alcohol bottles and other drinks were scattered around, and a few condom wrappers were found on the floor.
Bullet casing here, which that's weird. Why is there a bullet casing here? You found money?
Change.
The autopsy revealed Todd had been shot 7 times. One of the bullets was fired at close range. 2 shots to his left clavicle were likely fatal within minutes. All bullets came from the same weapon, a 9mm handgun. As Hudson police tried to figure out what happened, one thing was clear. The 41-year-old father of 2 was gone. It was heartbreaking news for his loved ones. Todd had accomplished a lot in life. He earned his bachelor's and master's degrees in Cleveland, then got his PhD from Kent State in 2015. He taught at universities in Massachusetts and Michigan before returning to Cleveland State 2 years before his death. But more than anything, Todd loved being a dad. He was known as a smart, serious guy, but with his kids, he was full of life. He'd play games, have dance-offs, take them to the park, and go on adventures. On the day he died, his daughter waited at school. Sure, her dad would show up like always, but this time, it was her mom who came, unsure how to break the news. At that point, even she didn't know what had really happened. Back at the house, detectives launched a full investigation.
So he's laying on his back with a gunshot wound to the head at the back door, and it looks like the door was forced out, as in out to the door. So I'd like for somebody to come out and take a look. There's shell casings all over the place, and just to figure out exactly what's...
Near Todd's body, the back door looked damaged. Part of the door frame by the lock was missing, like someone had forced it open from inside. A broken piece of the lock was found on the deck just a few feet away. There was blood spatter on the inside of the door, and police also spotted bloody footprints leading from the house onto the deck. The trail went down the steps toward the driveway, where Todd's Porsche SUV was still parked. It seemed clear someone had left the scene in a hurry. Either the killer had their own getaway car, or one of the first responders unknowingly left those prints behind.
Can I see your tread on your shoes? Yeah, definitely not you. Okay. There's footprints all over in the blood, and it looks like boots.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, there would piece of this door would be out here somewhere. Oh wait, there it is. It's all the way over here.
Oh, okay, then that definitely wasn't us.
Valuable items in the house, like multiple tablets and Todd's expensive car, were all untouched. So robbery didn't seem like a likely motive. The only thing missing was Todd's phone. Inside the house, police found several firearms, all legally registered to Todd, but none of them matched the 8 shell casings found at the scene. At this point, investigators turned to the neighbors, hoping someone might have seen or heard something that could lead to a break in the case.
I always said there's something off about him. Like, I get really feelings about people when I meet them. And I always said, I don't think there seems to be something strange about him, but I couldn't.
Todd Morgan. I hope he's okay. He seems like a nice guy. I mean, he's been here a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Kids.
Okay.
Somebody come out of the house to the car that was next to the Porsche. They were in the car. I mean, it was there.
The Porsche?
No, it was next to the Porsche.
Okay.
And it was there when I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock.
Like strange, it was saying it's strange to you? Just seems odd.
Weird. He said he worked from home. What the fuck does he do? He drives a Porsche.
That's pretty common nowadays.
He's at the house the whole time. Where does this guy get his money from? I don't know. Like, what does he do? And he says, he needs to run errands and go to the gym, and so he wants my daughter to babysit. It just seems off.
Just seems off.
He seems like fucking off, like fucking weird. Like, I don't know. I get a very off feeling.
After speaking with several neighbors, police finally got their first real lead. A couple named Eugene and Sherry seemed to have useful information. Around 7:20 a.m., they heard a loud noise that could have been gunshots. At first, they didn't think much of it. They assumed it was just a car backfiring or noise from the home renovations Todd had been working on for a while. But what stood out even more was a car they noticed parked right next to Todd's SUV at around the same time.
I saw somebody come out of the house with long hair to the shoulders. I couldn't even tell you if it was male or female, to be honest with you. It looked like a smaller frame, not a big person. Got into a little car.
Shortly after that, Eugene checked footage from his Ring doorbell camera. He managed to capture a blurry image of the suspicious car parked near Todd's SUV. He handed it over to the police, hoping it could help identify the suspect.
Then it jumps to 7:30 and it's gone.
And it's gone?
Yeah.
What time is that, right?
6:50.
50?
Yeah.
Okay. And then 7, it's gone?
Yeah.
In the photo, you can clearly see a light-colored car parked next to Todd's SUV. But that alone isn't enough. Police still need more information to track down the killer. They decide to speak with Mary, Todd's ex-girlfriend, who first called them. Not only to update her on the case, but also to ask if she knows anything about Todd's recent relationships, or if he had any enemies.
Todd, we found Todd dead today. So,
And any explanation?
we're still in ongoing investigation. We have the detectives looking into it right now.
Todd's first marriage, which gave him a son, ended after he had an affair with one of his students, but that relationship didn't last long either. He also struggled with alcohol issues and had recently been trying to turn things around. He was taking daily breathalyzer tests using a device connected to an app, and the results were sent to Mary throughout the week.
So he's required to do an iSober device.
What's that?
It's to, he'll breathe into it and it reads whether he's had a drink or not.
For the vehicle?
Just any.
Oh, wow, anything at all. Okay.
And the last report I got was from yesterday at 7 o'clock in the morning.
You get reports from
Yeah,
guys?
emails,
No kidding.
results.
You got a result for that test yesterday?
Yes, I can pull it up.
Does it give numbers or just say if it's positive or negative for alcohol?
It does give numbers.
Okay.
What's this test called again?
iSober. The only other thing I can think of, but this was well over a year ago, his ex was dating someone that he said felt threatened by her and him ever having to exchange anything in person.
Okay.
So they would meet.
They would meet at like a police department or a common area.
As the investigation progressed and police began piecing things together, they stumbled upon something highly suspicious On the morning of the incident, around 7:21 a.m., a 911 call was made. The location of the call traced directly back to Todd Morgan's house, but the call wasn't from Todd's phone. Based on the timeline and evidence, this call likely happened around the time of the murder. The call was answered by Hudson Dispatch, but no one spoke on the other end. While that might seem strange, it's not entirely uncommon. On iPhones, pressing the power button 5 times in a row can trigger an SOS call, even by accident. It's very possible the killer accidentally triggered the SOS feature and unknowingly gave themselves away. The number belonged to a 32-year-old woman named Tariana Paschel from Akron. Her physical appearance matched what the witnesses had described, and she drove a silver crossover vehicle.
Was she in trouble? Where were you talking? Oh, okay. I definitely let her know.
You tell her to call the Hudson Police Department?
Hudson
Police Department, Hudson, Ohio.
Okay, I sure will.
What friend she's staying with?
I don't know, man. It's some friend. I mean, she's a friend. You know, look like a little girlfriend. You know, she's a young girl. Grandkids upstairs in the bed. Y'all think y'all want to walk through my dog house? Hell no. Ain't no Tariana in here.
Apparently he's saying that she's with one of her
No.
girlfriends in Garden Valley.
Yeah, how far is that from here?
That's not far.
Oh, we could follow you over there.
The connection between this woman and Dr. Todd Morgan was still unclear. Police quickly went to the address linked to Tariana, but the homeowner claimed she didn't live there and refused to let the officers search the property. Tariana Paschel had actually been to the police station just days before Todd's murder, questioned in connection with a different case. Back then, she had accused another ex-boyfriend. Even though investigators were fairly certain she was the shooter in that earlier incident, there wasn't enough solid evidence to charge her. This time, though, things were different. Phone data placed Tariana right at Todd Morgan's house at the exact time of the murder. The Ring doorbell footage also showed a vehicle resembling her silver Ford Taurus parked near the back door. The murder weapon, it was her gun. Investigators also matched the bloody footprints on the deck to a specific Nike sneaker. They then found Facebook photos of Tariana wearing that exact pair just months earlier. Surveillance footage captured her silver Taurus leaving the area that same morning. And not long after the murder, Tariana changed her phone and number, but police managed to track that too. On April 22nd, she made a telling Google search. Can police track my phone even if I remove the SIM? Then she browsed several articles about Todd Morgan, including one titled Hudson Murder Victim Identified as Cleveland State University Professor. In the weeks that followed, she searched her own name in connection to the crime a total of 41 times. The final blow? Her DNA was found on a Black & Mild cigar inside Todd's house and also on the condoms found at the scene.
You ever been to Hudson before?
I don't recall.
Your phone, why would it dial 911 on April 19th?
My phone?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. So here's what's interesting about these two photos. Right? Okay, these two photos were actually on your phone.
On my phone?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they weren't on my phone.
You actually typed in a search for this guy, and you viewed this image on your phone. You also did a search for 328 West Streetsville Street, and you viewed this image on your phone. Gary, I'm giving you an opportunity here to talk to us. We need to know what happened.
Okay, and I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on, but...
Now, with all the phone data in hand, Tariana had no choice but to face the evidence. It turned out that she and Todd had originally met on the dating app Bumble. Their conversation quickly moved off the app and continued through text messages.
We got a lot of information. We have DNA evidence, we have video, we have phone calls, we have Bumble chat messages. Okay, we have shell casings, we have shoe prints. We've got a lot of stuff.
Tariana's message history showed multiple conversations related to prostitution. In those texts, she made it clear that she only did out calls, meaning she would travel to meet clients. She even shared pricing details with them. On the day Todd was murdered, Tariana received a $50 payment from him via Cash App. When questioned about it, she said people send her money through the app all the time, and there was no way to say what that payment was for. However, investigators discovered she had searched for Todd's name, his address, and news articles about his death. Yet, despite all of this, Terriana claimed she didn't even remember who Todd Morgan was.
So, Todd Morgan sent you $50 more than April 19th. I don't know. Okay, but he did. So, what I want to ask you is, there was another payment. About 23 minutes later, there was a $1,000 payment that was sent from Todd Morgan to Black Beauty. And you confirm that Black Beauty, this Cash App is you. That's you, obviously, in that picture. So he sent you $1,000. Now, we go back to a $50 payment. You say, guys send you random $50 every now and then. Okay, you guys send you random $1,000 payments?
No.
Okay, so
it can happen.
The second payment of $1,000 was never completed. Because of the larger amount, the transaction required additional verification. A notification for that confirmation was sent to Todd's phone just before 7:30 a.m., but he never responded to it. In September 2024, the case finally went to court, but on the very day the trial was set to begin, Terriana reached a plea agreement with the state.
Yes, to his family, I'm very sorry, and I hope that one day that you can find it in your hearts to forgive me.
She agreed to plead guilty in exchange for a sentence of 20 years to life for Todd's murder, along with an additional 3 years for the firearm charge. Under the deal, she would become eligible for parole only after serving 23 years. This resolution spared Todd's family the emotional toll of a full trial, while also giving Terriana a chance at a potentially shorter sentence.
She was only 4 when she waited at school for her dad to pick her up, not understanding why he never came.
I'm Todd's mom. I always will be. Todd's not here to tell his story. Only God, Todd, and you know the truth of what happened on April 19. All I know, he was brutally murdered by you, and he basically died for nothing. You didn't even know him. Your actions to take my son's life changed my life forever. It's changed all of our lives. Even more so, you took a father from 2 beautiful children. They were his world, and he was theirs.